This is the Canadian model of occupational performance and engagement. The Canadian model of occupational performance was developed in 1997. It was an evolution of the Occupational Performance Model, or OPM, that was created by the Canadian Association of Occupational Therapists. Then, in 2007, engagement was added as an conceptual advancement on the original model of the CMOP, as it was identified as an important aspect of human occupation, creating the model we know today, the Canadian Model of Occupational Performance and Engagement, CMOP-E. The focus. The main focus of this model is occupational performance. Occupational performance is the outcome of the dynamic interplay between the primary components of the model. These primary components include the person, the occupation, and the environment. This model also encompasses engagement and believes it is involved in the interdependent relationship of the previous components stated. The assumptions. This model is based on the assumption and informed by the principle of client-centeredness. Another assumption that informs this model is that occupations are contextually and developmentally determined and influenced. The model is also based on the assumption and the core beliefs of the profession of occupational therapy. Function and dysfunction. In the CMOP-E, function is seen as the harmonious, interdependent relationship between the person, occupation, and environment. Dysfunction in the CMOP-E is seen as when there are limitations in any of the components of the model, so either with the person, occupation, environment, or any of those combined. One disruption in a component can result in the dysfunctional occupational performance or engagement of the client. The Canadian model of occupational performance and engagement can be used for pediatric clients, adults, and the geriatric population as well. Here are several of the diagnoses that could be addressed using this model. This is Gina. Gina is a 45-year-old African-American woman who has been diagnosed with major depressive disorder and alcohol abuse. Gina was brought to you in the partial hospital program for occupational therapy following a recent overdose and suspected suicide attempt. Gina has a history of suicide attempts and hospitalizations. The first after a breakup in her 30s. The second when her mom died of breast cancer 6 years ago. And the third when her oldest son left for college. Gina is a mother of 2, currently living alone in a house in the suburbs with her cat, Henry. She has been working in a medical office for the past 4 years and has been taking classes at the local community college to become a medical technologist. Gina was doing great in school until the last 2 semesters, where she began struggling and was no longer able to take classes. Gina is recently divorced, reporting that her marriage began to deteriorate when her son left for college 3 years ago. That is when she began drinking 3 or 4 cocktails a day, and her husband responded by becoming verbally abusive. Gina's son blames his mother for the divorce, and her daughter has been struggling with depression. Gina has a sister and a friend who she can rely on, however, she has lost contact with both. Due to the divorce, Gina's house has gone into disarray and will have to be sold. Gina used to enjoy watching reality TV shows and volunteering at her church, but finds that she has lost interest in these activities. Gina has been missing work, and her performance at work has begun to suffer, leading her to worry about her job security. Gina finds value in her religion and the ability to work. Currently, she is successful in caring for Henry, all aspects of transportation and telephone, purchasing items, obtaining and maintaining a source of income, payment of bills, use of banking forms, and plans for employment. According to her CELS scores, Gina needs assistance with her leisure activity involvement, budgeting monthly income, and budgeting money for food. Gina wants to help manage her finances, find an apartment, and return to work.